joining us. First of all, you must understand that um, from my experience, both in my marriage and then in counseling couples, you must understand that you cannot skip certain principles to achieve something. If you want to succeed in any area of your marriage, you must follow the principles of both marriage and then that issue. So today we're talking about overcoming financial struggles. So you cannot overcome financial struggles if you ignore the principles of having a good marriage or a healthy marriage, and you cannot overcome financial struggles without following the principles of money and doing that together. If one person is following the principles of money and the other person is not following the principles of money, you will still have problems. If both of you are not following the principles of money, you will still have problems. You will only win together when both of you are following the principles of money. That's under that financial umbrella. Then when it comes to marriage, marriage too has its own rules, has its own guidelines, has its own principles. If you do not follow the principles of marriage, you will have problems. So this struggle, how this struggle will end and how quickly it will end, depends on you and how you're open to learning knowledge and practicing what you learn and what you understand, or what is the truth. So that's why we are here today, to share some of our learnings, and then to also maybe there are people in the comments who will have questions or comments that we can learn from them. We can proceed from there. So it's about the principles and not even just about our own experiences. What are the principles of marriage and what are the principles of money? That is the only way. There is no shortcut, and only very few people can win the lottery. And even when you win the lottery, you still have to follow the principles of money.
Okay, so I think now, not in no particular order, there are certain principles that are very, very important. I think one of the beautiful things that I would say that the story began to change on our own journeys when you appreciate one, the principles, and then more importantly, you apply the principles. So it's really not about individual story. The principles kind of are the same. The expressions may be different. The context, the different marriage context may be different, but it's about how do we win together. I think one major thing, in no particular order, like I said, one major thing is actually increasing your understanding and your knowledge about how money works. It's very important. Everybody thinks they know. I always share something. I always say that it took me many years. I was working, I was earning a salary, I was living my life. We're married and all of that. But I really did not know how. It looked like a mystery. It's almost like you never have enough. You are constantly praying for more, but you are constantly having more, and you are constantly still struggling. So it kind of goes beyond just. It's you have to come to a place where you understand how money works, and that's why one major principle is increasing your financial intelligence. Increasing your financial intelligence, actually knowing the basics. And some of the basics, I think for me, one of the basics that really began to change my mindset is that money is an exchange for value. It's not just about wanting more, it's about putting out more value, improving your capacity, connecting the dots about that. The more valuable you increase value in terms of your knowledge value, in terms of your skill value, in terms of your investment value. Some people just invest based on, okay, they say it is land that we are buying in a certain place, no knowledge about this thing, or maybe it's the shares. They don't take out time to actually know anything about it. Just feel, okay, we are done with work, or we are done with school, or we are done with we're at a certain phase of our life, we need to earn more money without necessarily knowing, having knowledge in terms of financial intelligence. So you want to grow your financial intelligence, very, very important. And I think it's also important. So another thing is this, being able to have that conversation together. Because it's one thing to be growing your financial intelligence. Maybe one person is really good in, like, has increased their financial. So when we talk about financial intelligence, things like planning, things like budgeting are very, very key. Having a goal in mind, having a vision. When you don't have a goal to which you are accumulating wealth, and when I say goal, I'm not just talking about if you limit yourself only to immediate needs, like, okay, we need to buy this now, we need to buy that, and you don't think long term, you don't think bigger picture, you don't think broader pictures. And then for another thing that I found very, very key, that for me I would say literally change, going from always owing, always struggling to pay certain things like rent, school fees and all that, is the concept of planning. Having a plan. You want to achieve something, you put something in mind, like you maybe like school fees or whatever, and then you plan and you work towards it. I remember, and I know this is not about our personal story, but I don't think it's effective to talk about this and not. What do you think? It's not. It can't be. It can't be effective without sharing someone. But planning for me also changed the game. Increasing your knowledge is one thing, but having a plan, actually planning that some things are, when you break them into small bits. So if we have a plan, for example, that okay, we want to get a land, we want to get a property, we want to just be free, we want to change jobs or whatever. And so you want to go from where you are to just have a plan, and then have like step by step things that you are doing. And for me, I think when that became glaring to me, because before it was more like everything was spontaneous, everything was urgent, everything was, so now it's easier to say, okay, I want to achieve this, and then give myself a timeline to achieve that thing. Just that simple thing, and not putting everything under immediate pressure. And when you have a plan and a goal, so we're talking about goals and plans that can be very huge and very massive. They can be very massive goals, and sometimes they are just small goals. But the truth is that have a goal, have a goal, have to what end are we driving this. Many people, I think, just live based on what is popular, what is the next thing, what is the next phase. So they constantly are in that somehow pressured state. But people who plan ahead tend to be less under stress, because we're talking about winning together, going on this journey, and it seems seamless. It's like there's no so much pressure, because so attached to goals is budgeting, having a budget, having an actual plan. Well, when I say an actual plan, is that you set out a budget and say, this is what we're going to allocate to this is what we're going to allocate to that. Now you can clearly see that it's only effective if, like my wife said, you can't take out the principle of just having a beautiful marriage if you're not about winning together. And one of the core things about having a beautiful marriage is communication, being able to talk about these things. So I don't know if just have some things you want to throw in there, and then I'll bring my thoughts back. But let me not do all the talking.
No,
because I'm beginning to feel like I'm doing all the talking.
No, just so based on what you have said, just like you said, as I would always say, before I come into marriage is not for babies. Marriage is for mature people. Marriage is for people who know what they want and can go for what they want. So if the problem is that some people come in, they don't know who they are, they don't know what they want, and so they are discovering themselves in the marriage, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That is something, you must start from somewhere. So you must start understanding yourself. And one of the things you should understand, since we are talking about finances, is what is my own philosophy about money.
Yeah.
What do I think is money? How do I feel about the subject of money? What do I even do to make money? Do I like a lot of money? Do I need money? Like, you actually have to have this conversation with yourself. You have to understand yourself. A lot of people are having these struggles in their relationships on financial issues because on your own you don't even know your money philosophy. You don't know your money perspective. You just feel like money will come, or you feel like, yeah, money is just, no, life is not like that. It's unfortunate, it's sad, but it's true. So if you don't want to have problems in your marriage, you must understand. You must be financially mature. You should work on yourself to understand money. Then your partner is also coming to the marriage with that kind of philosophy as well. It doesn't mean you are both correct as you are coming in. Some things will change on the journey. You may learn new things and change your perspective, but it's good to start from somewhere. Now when you come together, you must communicate. So like he said, vision is important. Yes, but the problem is that sometimes the vision is not aligned.
Yeah.
So the wife comes in and she's like, okay, so both of you married at the age of 25. Let's say you're even the same age. You got married at the age of 25, and then the guy, he's thinking that I want to, by the time I'm 50, that's when I will buy my house. Okay?
No, we don't push it too far now.
No, that's vision.
Let's say 40. Guy.
No, it's possible. Okay, he's saying, okay, I want to buy my
30,
house.
Now this is 30.
So he's 25 and he's thinking, I want to buy my house by the time I'm 30.
Or 35.
Whatever. And then the girl is thinking, we can buy house this year. We can buy house. In short, from the wedding ground, after they finish spraying us, that money, we can use it to buy house. So the issue is not whether one person is realistic or whether the other person is unrealistic. The issue is you have to talk about it.
Yeah.
You have to talk about your dreams. A marriage where two people are married and you're not dreaming, is dry, is uninteresting. You just stay together, no dream, or all your dream, or all that you are discussing is based on how much you people have today. You will have problem.
Current realities.
You will, if you keep your perspective on your marriage on just what people are discussing is today, what we can afford today and how we are today, that's fine. Living within your means today is fine, but you must dream. You must paint pictures of a future so that you are both motivated. Okay, so now in painting that picture, you must discuss and align your goals. That does not mean that, okay, one person can be like, I beg, next year is near, and then the other person is like, we can do it next year. But you both must agree. So you can set your target that, okay, I feel next year is far, and he feels next year is near. I feel next year is far. He feels next year is achievable.
You feel next year is achievable. The other person feels it's too close.
It's too close.
Yeah.
So, but it's fine. So come to a compromise. But you can still be, because anything. You see, the thing about it is that one of the secrets of success, or the secrets of achieving anything, is first thinking it. If you've never thought of owning a house in Bahamas, even if opportunity flies under your nose 1 million times a day, you will never.
Yeah.
Like if a house in Bahamas costs $100,000 or 100,000 naira, for example, and you've never thought of having a house in Bahamas, my brother, my sister, even if I give you $20 billion, you will never buy a house in Bahamas because it has never crossed your mind. But guess what? If it has crossed your mind and you said, oh, by the time I'm 50, I want to own a house in Bahamas, guess what will happen? You may be able to buy that house far before you get to 50 because you have started picturing it in your mind. That's how we are as humans, and that's why vision is important. A shared dream in marriage is important. A shared goal, a shared vision. you people are discussing it. This is what we feel. This is what I feel that this kind of school I feel our children should be going to.
Yeah.
And that brings me to the next issue when you are discussing your dream. Okay, the issue of one person in denial. So I am saying I want to go and give birth abroad.
For instance.
For example, I finished having children. Please, nobody should come near me with that. I've had my children. They are fine. I beg. I'm not looking to go and have children abroad. I'm not even looking to have children. I'm okay. God has blessed me. Thank God.
Okay.
Now,
I've heard you.
So I'm dreaming of, for example, having children abroad. Okay, are you afraid of the budget?
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. So I said I want to go have my children abroad. Yeah. And then he is now fighting that idea wherever that thought is coming from. I fight it by fire. It's a cost idea. But when you settle down and you check, it's not as if he does not like the idea of having a child that was born abroad. Hello, who don't like better things?
Tokumbo.
And naming the child Tokumbo and all that, and
Tokumbo is what they call from there. From overseas.
So, but the issue is that because of the money, he's fighting it. We are recommending that that's not the best approach. If you keep looking or planning your life, or it's better to discuss it than to kill it.
Yeah.
Especially when you like it, because guess what? I may go ahead and gather the money and go and have this child abroad, and I will come back, or you will come and meet me there, and you'll be happy, you'll be posing, and every single time for the rest of our lives you pose about how this child was born abroad. I'll just look at you and be like,
yeah, I
see
think
this one.
I think the thing, like what we're stressing, we use this example.
Yeah.
So, but I think to put things in perspective, it's like, okay, because there have been times where people do that. They're excited about it, but they take years to recover from the impact.
Yeah.
Years. I mean, literal years to recover. People have moved from one place, one house to another house, and then because they forced it. So sometimes it's about, so like we keep stressing, it's about how do we go through this process together. So it's sometimes it's
come out winning together.
And winning together. So because sometimes you've gotten something, but one party is left. It's
disenfranchised.
Is that the word? I don't know.
That's the word.
Okay, that's the word.
Disenfranchised.
If you say so, but one party is left like alone.
Yeah.
So and because I remember having that kind of experience when we did a particular project. For me, it took like 3 years. So you get there. I'm not going to tell you.
Tell me project. I can't remember.
You will not know now.
I'm the forgiving one in this marriage.
Yes.
I forgive.
Yes.
I forget.
Yes, you forget.
So I forgive and forget.
You forget. Yes.
But this is my love.
Yes. It's my temperament. So but the thing is that communicating and talking about it, because sometimes people get to the place where they become wary of sharing their dreams with their spouse, because it's like every time I have a conversation, either one person says it's too big, it's too this thing, and then they begin to criticize and all of that. The thing is that sometimes too, when you are maybe you are the dynamics between the two is that one person is a dreamer and the other person says, oh, let's be cautious. Now there's no right or wrong. I will think that God designed it that way, that it's like you are there to win together. So how do you go past that? It requires open and honest conversations, and sometimes honesty with what you are afraid of. I mean, for the longest time, there were many things. It took a while to get to the point where I could dream the kind of things my wife would dream. Because every time she just mentions certain things like, I'll just calculate, ping, 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 not possible. I'll be angry. We will insist. Then she will keep quiet. Then I won't talk. Then all of that. And all of that, I realized that it is my own fears that I'm dealing with. And sometimes there's nothing wrong with having your own fears. and it's also important for the other person to kind of be patient with the other party. And sometimes too, the other person may also just, the truth is that you may just be damn outrightly unrealistic. But the first thing is that rather than kill the dream, rather than say why it will not happen, why don't you both come together and say, how would it happen? You know, how would it happen? There's nothing wrong asking how would, and be open-minded, you know, open-minded to look at your fears, their own fears, because sometimes too is that, sometimes too, even the big dream may also be just coming from a place of competition too, you know that, as in, but, so you want to check yourself, and you want to be sure.
Sometimes is there are fears. So this person could be dreaming small because the person is afraid that or this one could be shooting down the dream because he or she is afraid that we don't have the money, this dream will wreck us. Then this other one is dreaming over big because this person is competing with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Or this person is afraid of poverty.
Yeah.
Or this person is afraid that
of shame.
Of
let
shame.
them not laugh
What
at
my
me,
village
you know,
people did to my father.
Yeah.
You know. So in discussing with each other, you are able to rationalize. Once again, caveat. I always say this.
Okay. What do you always say?
Marriage is for mature people. It's not the one that when we are discussing, we now hit the nail on the head that okay, you want to do this thing because you want to pose for your friends happy, then you will still be denying. All those people, they are difficult to marry. May you not see them.
No, Abba, they are not bad people.
They are not bad, but
it's just the coming to.
It's just me.
It's coming to that honesty, being honest with yourself.
Sincere.
Yes, being honest with yourself. That where is my struggle? Because it's not like you hate the dream. It's not like you don't want that kind of life. But something inside of you may be saying it's not my kind.
It's not my people.
It's not my you know.
It's not my
so I like it. I like this statement. I just heard this statement today. You know, actually said by Albert Einstein. You know, and he said that imagination is a preview to life coming attractions. So it's what that just means is that just appreciating that. Let us dream together.
Come on.
You know, let's think about how it will happen.
Yes.
Sometimes it's not necessarily about the timelines. It's about it's possible. You know, it's that we too can live and enjoy this kind of rather than just one person just running up and saying you are always trying to kill my dream, and the other one say you are always
you're always over.
No, let's just dream. Let's have that's why we have to be able to come into the conversation in a healthy way.
So now we have dreamt and we are dreaming. We are Joseph. We
the dreams.
And we have aligned and we have come to the point of it's possible.
Yeah.
We can. Yes, we can. Okay. Those people that have done it, they don't have two heads. God is faithful. We can. Blah blah blah. Whatever you people have used to motivate yourselves. The next thing, ladies and gentlemen, that your dream is not going to come to pass just by we've agreed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I know we've hammered a lot about dreaming, but hello, it's not gonna happen just by dreaming.
Yeah.
So you move to the next stage, which is planning and budgeting.
Very key.
It's money matter is so sobering. It's so sobering. Personally, as a person, from the day I was getting married, I just wanted to float into the church. Like even before we were even before the wedding day, or before even the wedding planning, my whole imagination about wedding or marriage was that I'll just float into the church.
They will do the wedding.
Like they will just tell me that the date of the wedding is March 11, and I will just float in. Like I won't even know how anything happened. I'll just wake up and float in. Honestly, that was my imagination. You can imagine how life did me buzz. I realized that if you don't take your destiny into your hand, you will have problems. So you must be involved in your dream. You have to. It's unfortunate and sad, but it has to happen. Like me, I hated budgeting.
Yeah.
It took my husband a long time to get me to that.
Yes. That's where the women together.
I didn't even like discussing money. Like, why should we discuss it? It's just gonna happen because you're coming from your father's house. For those who maybe you were raised with by your parents and they were doing everything for you, like some princesses here, you know. So so I just felt like say Lori, you know, who's that? Yeah. So I just felt like I just felt like, you know, do everything. Why should we talk about money? You know, like when you need something, walk into a shop, pay. We are any salary. You are any salary and any salary. Unfortunately, we realized that even though he was earning well for where he was at the time,
I was
as a doctor working for the federal government. He says that, but the truth of the matter is that you were earning well for someone who left school. How many years working for federal government? You know, federal government,
they pay, well,
they pay doctors well. You know, relatively well. And I was working in telecoms. So I don't know, why should we budget a beg? But guess what? Budgeting helped us. It was a game changer when I eventually, finally, after much quarrel and struggle, I eventually agreed. Then we started budgeting. I remember that time after budgeting, we now paste the budget on the wardrobe door for everybody to be seeing it in the morning. As you are going out in the morning and you are going to, as you are spending money, remember this budget too. So budgeting is the next. So after dreaming, dreaming is free, but you have to work on the planning for your dream. So you need to plan together and budget. So that budgeting is where you talk about how much is allowance for this person, how much is allowance. Please, you must make allowance for each other, and the woman's allowance may be more because we need a lot of flavor. May. I said May. Emphasis on May. It's fine to give your wife a bit more allowing. You understand? Because women, we need to, we need flavor. It's not our fault. Eve just arrived into a well-furnished garden. There were multiple elephants and camels to take her anywhere she wanted to go. There were 7 rivers. If she wanted Sprite today, Sprite River. If she wanted Coca-Cola, like anything she wanted was available for her. So that's our great grand ancestor as women. So we need to flourish. So you do those allowances, then you do for savings and all that. So you budget, you plan. There should be room for savings as a couple. Because that's your dream. Is that your first savings? Those savings are the things that you can now make investments. You save, then you invest. So there was one, you must improve on financial literacy. So when we started, we said you must have financial intelligence and literacy. If you didn't have it before, once you marry, buy a book or go for classes. Personally, see, this money matter, I suffered. I went for lecture upon lecture. I went from one class to another to learn about, because I was really struggling as a person, talk less of in my marriage. I was so confused at a point that what is really happening? I'm so broke. What's the issue? And I'm working, I'm earning salary, I'm so broke. Do you know what I did? First of all, I took my checkbook to church. I said this checkbook should give his life to Christ. Can you remember? my checkbook, I gave my checkbook to the Lord. Give your life to Christ. But that did not necessarily change anything until I started learning about finances. Like, you have to actually learn. So saving is not even enough, especially in this our Nigeria, that 5 naira of yesterday that could buy bread. Every day I see the price of bread escalating and I'm like, what? Bread? Like, you can't even find 50 naira again. Okay. So you must save your money. Then that savings, you invest it. You look for ways to multiply it. You should build a business or businesses that will bring back for you. So that one is topic of another day, the business to do. Because the idea of business to do varies. And God has brought 2 people together so that there can be so much potential from the 2 of you. You understand? I have done a lot of businesses in life. A lot. You need to read up about me. Like, if I just sit down and one idea just enter, I've gone. I've started the business. Many. So, many. So, but if you find that the one that has been very, very, have prospered though, so it's not as if the businesses didn't make money. They made. But the one that has been so sustainable is the one that I invested in my husband's skill, psychiatry. That's the psychiatric hospital. I was just at home watching and observing, and I said, every day I was just watching, and I just said, this guy is onto something. There's a business model here. So sometimes, this business you are looking for in Sokoto or whatever, it could be your spouse, it could be your relative, there could be a talent that is in your child, whatever. There's always something. God has not left us without resources. So you must learn about investing. And even when I invested in the business, and we set up and we set up the business, it didn't stop there. We have to learn how to grow this business. So one deal is not a business. One supply contract is not necessarily a business. So you must grow your financial acumen, okay? And you working together helps you even do it better. Now, it doesn't mean that
you have to do business together.
It doesn't mean you have to do business together. But you should support each other.
Yeah.
Or you can support each other.
Yeah.
So one person's business requires a lot of going out, networking, partying, and all that, or whatever. Try and be that supportive spouse. Because people who operate in the realm of he's doing his own thing, I'm doing my own thing, the truth of the matter is that a chain is only as strong as what the weakest link. If you feel that I'm rich, my husband is poor, or the husband feels he's rich, the wife is poor financially, guess what? When challenges hit your home, the level water will find its level. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. You will be as you guys, your cumulative net worth will be as is going to be the person with the least amount of money. That's where you're going to find yourself. The person that does not have, you end up dragging down.
We said that you don't have to do business
together. So you have to encourage and support each other. You don't have to do business together, but you have to encourage and support each other, and you have to work on that financial plan and go together. There was this lady that came for counseling, and she said her problem was that her husband, he wastes money. He has plenty money, as in he makes good money, but she just felt he was wasting money. Like his relatives, anything they want, he will give them, and it was a big problem for her.
I remember.
You remember, Abby?
Yeah.
Okay. So they had to. So after doing some digging, we found out that as a couple they didn't have goals. As in they didn't have. Okay, she had some thoughts, but they hadn't discussed.
Yeah.
The guy, he didn't have goal. Like he was like, I'm just working. He was working with the mindset that job will be there forever. The job looked like it would be there forever, and he was like, so why shouldn't I spend the money however I want to spend the money? But we worked with this couple, and they invested, as in they now had goals. They invested. They set up, I think, 2 businesses or so. They are still working, but their marriage is in a better place, and they are less quarrels. They are happier. We still see them till tomorrow, So it's about winning together. Why are you smiling? Me, I see them till tomorrow because I still go to her salon. So you may not be seeing them. Me, I see them. I even see them on social media. I see them physically. So they are doing well. Unlike that time when they came, that it was like we are going to separate and all that. It's about going through it and winning together. Her problem wasn't that she just wanted to eat his money or whatever. Her problem was, you're getting all this money and I'm not feeling secure. You're getting this money, you're giving it out. You're getting this money, you're giving it out. Such things, communication, open, sincere communication. And we were able to dig and probe, and then we now found out that it is because they didn't have a common goal. So in entering into a relationship, you must have those conversations. That's for those who are not yet married, or even if you are married and you realize that you are having struggles, you must come together and discuss what are your thoughts, what are your dreams, what are your hopes, what is your perspective. And communication must be done from a place of respect. Respect, once again, marriage is for mature people. It is two mature people who can have a conversation, and even though they don't agree, they can even agree to disagree, or they can now come from a place of I don't agree, and then we come together and agree, to a compromise. It's only mature people. So babies shouldn't be getting married. That one is something like we keep saying it. Babies should not be getting married. If you're not ready to, marriage is so. Even when I was entering marriage, I thought it was just, we'll just be staring into each other's eyes.
So you are a baby now.
I was a baby.
So baby can marry, but you have to quickly mature.
Yes, even if you are a baby, when you enter the marriage, you have to quickly mature, because marriage is not for babies.
So in addition now,
or babies don't enjoy marriage.
When we say that is that you see, to win together, I keep stressing that you have to be willing to make adjustments. It can't always be your way or the highway. As saying you have to make those adjustments together. So I think there will be need. There's a need. Sometimes there will be need to shift some of your belief systems, shift some of the ways you do things. I remember when we had to do business together, because it was a hospital business, and you are in corporate side, and you are bringing the corporate structure and systems into business. I literally had to work on my own mindset to shift and allow you lead at that point, to take control of certain aspects. And because I've had people practically say they try to work together as a team in a business, and then it falls because they want to still do the same. It's like I'm the man, the woman. Sometimes those beliefs sometimes is not that it doesn't work. It's not work. Exactly. So you need to work on. Sometimes it may require some shifting. You may need to shift for the progress. So it can't be winning together, like we keep stressing. It's about there are times when you have to make adjustments and all of that. So adjustments too is very, very important on this journey if you have to win together. Adjustments in some kind of mindsets that you have. Some of the mindsets that you have is what is limiting you guys from winning together. The mindset, like, okay, maybe something, you see, those mindsets may work in some settings, but you always want to put it in context. Okay,
like when I was getting married, I brought the mindset of how my father treated my mother. I brought the mindset of how my father treated my mother into my marriage.
Yes, and I remember always saying, I'm not your father.
Yes, and my husband really suffered for it, because my father was like, he was I don't want to use the word.
Don't speak ill, don't speak ill of the dead. I don't want cause.
So my father will come from this side.
You just come from spiritual.
It's not possible. So my father was stingy to my mother. Hello, I've said it on national television. So he was
I'm not
stingy.
there. Daddy, wherever you are with the ancestors, I'm not there.
He was stingy to my mother, and I came into marriage. I watched my mother, and I really
toasted themselves on
I watched my mother, and I really like. I wanted her to have her own money too. So I came into my marriage with that level of distrust, or is it mistrust? I came into that level of trust issues, with that level of withholding my own, and all that, and without considering the personality of my husband, which is very different from the personality of my father. So I first of all punished my husband for all the things that my father did to my mother. And he would always say, I'm not your father. Because thank God we had those conversations. So some men, on his own part too, there are certain things he punished me for. For example, he felt that because I'm not very good at numbers. I don't know.
Be precise, mathematics.
Once you start with number, you lose me. So I depend on Excel sheets. I'm good with Excel, or I try to work with
We have
Excel.
less than
I
10
even plan
minutes,
my
They'll soon
kitchen.
drive us.
I even plan my kitchen budgeting and all that with Excel. So I use Excel a lot, but he just felt that if this person cannot process numbers quickly, then there's no how she knows anything about money.
Yeah.
So he took a lot of decisions with that perspective until, thank God, my God spoke for me, hallelujah,
Laura.
and let him know that, hello, this girl, she's quite intelligent and
Yeah.
she's managing her money and she's doing well with her money.
Doing well.
She's doing well. You give her allowance of 5 naira, she converts it to 15 naira.
So
Or
like 7.5.
to 15 naira, hello, 3 times, So, he had to now work on those
Okay.
assumptions.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like you said, belief system. Sometimes
you need to-
our struggle is we've not yet settled down to analyze our belief systems about money and about our partner's perspective on money. If we do that, then we'll be able to, a lot of things in life start with being able to process information here and understand what is self-awareness, and then how to play that. How does my own perspective play out with this person's perspective, so that we can come together to win.
Yeah.
So it's about winning together, not
Yeah.
winning alone. You
Yeah.
can win alone.
You can win alone.
Win alone is beautiful, it's okay. But what we are talking about today is how to win together. Winning together is sweet.
Sweeter.
Sweeter.
So winning alone is great, is good, but like they say, I mean, to go fast, you go alone. To go far, you go together.
Yeah.
So there's so much you can achieve.
Canada.
Yeah, Canada. Yeah. Forgive us, Buhari. President Buhari.
He's not Nigeria.
So okay, sorry, whatever. But the truth still remains that is that, I mean, like, so okay. So there's a comment that you can start anywhere. Really winning together, you can start anywhere. You can even be good where you are, but to be larger, you have to communicate, you have to make some adjustments, you have to have a vision. And I dare say, as you were speaking, and something struck me, that the earlier you have it in your marriage, the better for you.
Yeah.
Because like the couple you were talking about, I mean, for the longest time, and it's also very beautiful when you can have a vision that, like, everybody has a, like, you feature in that vision. Because sometimes the issue people have is that you have a vision and I can't see myself. Maybe sometimes the vision can come from this angle, can even come from through your child itself. Financial freedom literally can come from any angle and all of that. But I think that's a subject for that day.
Yeah.
We'll start that topic. We won't.
Financial freedom, which angle it will come from, whether it's the man or the woman,
or even the child itself.
We do not share that perspective in our home that the man must be the bigger earner. We don't share that perspective.
We don't. That's
we
the
believe,
truth.
we even look at our children like, how far that your talent, it don't match
Try and
up.
start to
Right, we are your parents. We don't hustle. How soon can you start? How
join.
soon can you start contributing in this family? So we don't share that perspective that the man must be the biggest earner. It can come from me. We've in this marriage we've had instances where God is the ultimate provider.
Yeah.
He's our ultimate source.
Yeah.
He can decide to drop the money in this account. He can decide to drop the money in this account. He can bring one uncle that will give the children money. We are here, sir.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
any angle. My Lord, sir.
Who are we to say
Who are
no?
we to say no? Through which angle you want to come from? My child can win.
Lord.
Can win something. We are here, sir. Any angle, sir. So
Lord.
when we have that kind of perspective, we are very free. And we are very supportive of each other. So he may have something that is working on. I will be encouraging him, because the thing you can blow from this angle.
And blow.
It can be me. The way he will be supporting me, because he knows that this girl, she has the capacity to produce.
Yeah.
And our children too, we support them. It can be any angle. So we do not share that perspective that, the man is the head and he should be the biggest.
The man is the head.
He's the head, but
he's
the head, but
doesn't mean he must earn more.
the way you
No. Let's not
carry the head. No, but I'm not dragging that you are the head. What I mean is that we do not share that perspective that because he's the head or the leader, then he will now be the biggest earner.
Exactly.
The chief of my village or the king of my village is not the richest man in the village, but he's still the king. The richest
so
man.
I can decide.
You
No,
can't decide. You cannot.
I'm just joking.
No, you will not decide.
Amen.
So
Okay.
even, and that brings us to another thing. There was a time in our marriage where I felt like he wasn't pulling his weight. So even though we had this perspective, I still felt like he wasn't pulling his weight, and he was being a bit too selfish. He was investing, you know, as a doctor, they're always learning, they're always reading book. I felt he was investing too much in his education at our own detriment as a family.
Because I didn't know better.
Because he didn't know better. He's telling you now, he didn't know better. So I had to respectfully. Communication must be done respectfully. It can be blunt, it may be brutal, brutally honest, but with respect. So with all due respect, sir.
Not doing well.
You are not doing well, sir. You are maltreating me, sir. you are not dropping money, sir.
Aye, sir.
You are not contributing, sir. This fish you ate, sir, it costs money. You know,
costs money.
So I had to engage him and talk to him. I remember that day we had that talk outside, sitting on the car. Then we walk round and round and round.
You see, you forget this, so when you remember this kind of
I have to remember those are milestones in my history.
Well done.
So we had that conversation, and thank God for the kind of person he is. That's why I said the person you are marrying, you to shine your eye.
Yeah, transparency. Yeah.
So he listens. He listens. I think I'm even the more stubborn one.
No, it's not a thought. You are correct.
So he listens, he calms down and hears. He may not like what he's hearing at first, but he will go back and think about it. So he has nurtured that ability in me to feel like I have a say in this marriage, and I can bring my thank you for that, sir.
You happy?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, sir. So he doesn't create an environment where I feel like I can't express myself. Anyhow he's doing me, I let him know, you know. So thank you.
You do it
with respect, sir. With respect, sir. You're annoying me, sir.
No problem.
Sir, you're upsetting me.
Okay.
So anyway.
There's no drivers from here now. It's almost.
What's it? If they drive, what's it?
You know, you like to be. I'm a gentleman. I don't like someone to insult me. I don't, even Instagram. Let them not drive me or insult me.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So me, I don't mind. Instagram can drive me.
Yes.
I like okay. So anyway, so seriously now, you must talk about it. You must manage, you know, the communication and manage expectations in your marriage.
Yeah.
And just like we say, we used to tell each other that, you know, you have to, you know, I'm expecting some things from you. I'm expecting you to perform in some ways.
I think it's important to just quickly drop that. That's why, you know, communication. I guess that's what we're going to talk about next month. But I mean, because sometimes we have expectations in our head, we don't say those things, and sometimes those are the things causing, you know, stress. So, but you must learn to talk.
You must learn to talk. And before we go, I will be irresponsible. It will be irresponsible to talk about growing your finances, winning together, without talking about securing your assets. As you begin to grow, you begin to buy things together and do things together. Please secure your assets. Get that insurance. Write that will. You will not die. Don't be afraid of will.
It's part of financial intelligence.
It's part of financial intelligence, because more of the money, you've labored so hard to make all this money, save, invest, all those things, and then God forbid you now die, and then your family cannot access it. Then they will now be running after lawyer in Lagos. Lawyer will use them to see 99.
Come to think of it, it's almost 9 years. My mother's money can't say.
Okay, his mother's money couldn't access.
So it's important. It's like a joke.
My mother's money is in the bank. My
serious.
father's money my brother spent almost $1 million to collect it, but he was that committed because he knew that what will come out. Hello, some of us.
It's okay. My brother may be watching. Kelechi, I'm not there.
It's not in Nigeria. They cannot kidnap him, and don't kidnap me too, because the money has finished.
It's okay. It's off the mic.
So, but seriously, you need to ring fence your assets, do insurance, do will, do all those things, so that your family will not suffer at the end of the day. And God forbid you have a health crisis, or you can't work again, you can still be taken care of by those things. Get financially intelligent, get information, learn. On Instagram there are so many people teaching this thing, and there are other, you can buy a book, you can borrow a book, there are now free books online. Get financial intelligence. Men, get financial intelligence. It will help you, your wife. All these people that shout, my wife does not respect me, my wife does not respect me. One of the things that will help you is to grow your leadership. And in growing your leadership, being able to manage and allocate and plan and budget for resources, it will help her respect you more. That's why we address this issue of financial struggles together, because as counselors we see that a lot of problems people come is zigzag. By the time you trace it, is either money or the other one.
What's that?
Yeah, the other one.
In the other room.
We'll talk about the other one another time. I don't know when we are able to overcome shyness. We'll talk about the other one. But most times, even the other one is tied somehow to money. There are some women that just have that mentality of, why should I be sleeping with you when money is
sometimes.
There are some women, I said some women. Why should I be sleeping with you when the money is not complete? Hello, money needs to, so that mentality, we'll talk about that another time. So that's not the issue here. Okay, so it's time. It's 1 hour on the dot. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your encouragement, your smiles.
Which
your
other
laughter.
one? It's not here. We hear everything, please.
He says. The other one is called says.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for making us feel like we're making sense.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. We really do.
Yeah, thank you for all the comments.
all
We'll
the
go through
comments.
them, and we'll come your way again next month. Thank you so much.
Next month.
It's our pleasure to share our learnings with you. We want to help as many people as possible grow and do better in their marriage. Marriage is sweet. Marriage is sweet.
Sweet.
Sweet. Forget all these things people are telling you.
Yes, it's sweet.
Love is sweet.
Love is sweet.
Love is sweet.
Say it
Marriage
again.
is sweet. So stop allowing people deceive us because of their own wahala. Marriage is sweet.
Yeah.
Love is sweet.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's attainable.
That's true.
We just need to do the work. Unfortunately, it requires work.
It's
not like in the movies.
Work.
It's work. It's
It's
not like in
sweet.
the film when you just see the two of them, they'll just be floating and loving themselves. Unfortunately, it requires
They will
work.
soon drive us. You will soon see
But it's
Instagram
what,
and push us out.
Alright, thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you. So what next? We should off it.
Off the mic.
And they've not yet driven us. I'm not happy. I want to be with the people.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Sorry. Alright.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
We
thank
really
you,
do
thank you.
appreciate it.
Have a
God
wonderful
bless you.
evening.
Have a
God bless
wonderful-
you. Have a wonderful
Yeah.
evening. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
We appreciate you too. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay.
What's that one now?
And I think, yeah. And is
But
it
we
touch?
need to-
Is it touch?
Oh no, I'm with my. You thought it was like the tab. Okay.
Yeah.